Hello and welcome to another episode of Toya Talks Wrestling. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the result show for Saturday night's main event. But before I get into Saturday's main event, I want to address something that I saw on Twitter Saturday, because All In had their AEW had their All In pay-per-view event on Saturday as well, earlier today, and Adam Cole was supposed to defend his title against, I don't know who was supposed to defend his title against, but unfortunately he wasn't cleared to compete now, and he had to relinquish his title. I don't know what title he had, and he never mentioned like why, what the issue was or anything else like that. I don't know what the issue is, but whatever it is, hopefully, because he talks about how he's not saying goodbye, but if this was his last opportunity to wrestle again, he just wanted to thank everybody else. And I'm like, hopefully it's not the last time we see him in a ring. Hopefully it's not that too serious, and hopefully he come back into ring as soon as possible. Like, I don't know what it is. Hoping it's not too bad. Maybe it's just, I know he had a concussion once and it was pretty bad, so I don't know that, or like I said, I don't know. People were saying maybe he has cancer, and I'm like, oh my god, like, y'all don't put that evil on Adam Cole like that, alright? Put kapooey, as the Jewish people say, right? And so I don't know what's going on, but I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that this is not the last time we see him in the ring, and he comes back in the ring sooner than later. So all the best for Adam Cole. Nothing but good wishes for you, dear sir. Now, let's go ahead and get into the main event. Yeah, and they did add a fourth match, like I had said on my Friday predictions. They did add a match, and we'll talk about that when we get there. Anyways, we started off with Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Now, let me tell you what happened on Friday, the night before. So, they were in, SmackDown was in Nashville, and Jelly Roll, the country, is he a country singer? The country singer Jelly Roll was there, and he was performing kinda a little bit. I say kinda because what had happened was he's singing a song, whatever the popular song is that he has out, and then Logan Paul comes out, and Logan Paul was like, alright, cut the music, stop, but nobody wants to see you at Jelly Roll. They don't come here to see celebrities, they come here to see real wrestlers like myself. He's like, this is what Logan Paul says. Logan Paul was like, tell Jelly Roll, you know, I'm sick and tired of people coming into our business who are like celebrities and influencers or whatever you're supposed to be, and coming in our business and thinking like they can do what we can do and everything else, trying to steal our shine and everything else. And I'm just like, jaw dropped, like, is he fucking for real? Is this a troll? Like, what the fuck is it? Did I land in the Twilight Zone or something? Like, he can't be serious, right? And I was like, alright. And like, Jelly Roll had a look on his face, like, really? Like, I'm like, yeah, really? Like, oh, okay, cool, right, whatever. So then Randy Orton comes out, and he basically was like, how are you gonna tell Jelly Roll to shut up and he's not wanted here? I'm like, this is his hometown, this is where he's from, blah 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 blah. I think Jelly Roll had said something to Logan Paul as well, like, dude, like they don't want you here, whatever, blah blah blah, whatever. Anyways, it ended up where where Randy Orton gets into Logan Paul's face. And as soon as like Randy Orton turns around, he gets claymored by Drew McIntyre, right? Because Drew McIntyre owed him for that RKO he gave him last week. I explained that on the prediction show, or the reason why we're having this match on Saturday in the first place. Anyways, so we have that happen, and then the security guys come. Nick Aldis comes and he escorts Drew McIntyre out of the ring, up the ramp. As this was happening, you had Logan Paul go in and starts attacking Randy Orton, starts beating him up. And eventually, Jelly Roll has had enough of Logan Paul beating up on Randy Orton, so Jelly Roll pretty much throws Logan Paul off of Randy and throws him out the ring. And Logan Paul was about to go back up to the apron of the ring, but he's like, no, because that's when Randy Orton, like Jelly Roll helps Randy Orton up, and now Randy and Jelly Roll are both up right now. And Logan Paul thinks twice about it and goes up the ramp and pretty much starts having a tantrum and starts destroying the musical equipment of Jelly Roll's band, right? And everything else, and say, what are you gonna do, Jelly Roll? You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing, Jelly Roll. By the way, let me just say, as many times that they have mentioned Jelly Rolls, I'm just thinking to myself, man, I could go for a Jelly Roll donut right now. I don't even like jelly donuts, okay? But man, every time they had mentioned the word Jelly Roll, I'm just like, I need to give me a jelly donut. Like, if I don't have a jelly donut by the end of this weekend, there's gonna be problems. Anyways, later on in the show, Jelly Roll was like, hey, I'm gonna be with you at your corner at Saturday Night's Main Event. And Logan Paul was like, oh, I'm gonna be at Drew McIntyre's corner at Saturday Night's Main Event. So this is what happened. So then we had Randy versus and Jelly Roll at his corner, and we had Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul at his corner. It was a good match. Commercials, obviously, it's NBC. What do you expect? Commercials, but at one point Logan and Jelly Roll were fighting on the outside. I guess it got distracted Drew McIntyre and RKO'd by Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre is out and Randy Orton wins, which I'm honestly kind of surprised that he won that match. I would assume that it would have been Drew, but he actually won. And at that time, you know, then Logan Paul comes in and pretty much sucker punches Randy Orton with the titanium, like, fist, arm, hand thing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you had Jelly Roll get claymored by Drew McIntyre. And everybody, and then I was backstage, and Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul and everyone else was freaking arguing with Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, because Adam Pearce is basically Logan Paul's boss and Nick Aldis is Drew McIntyre's boss, and they're just arguing and fighting about something, right? And then I don't know who interviewed, I think it was Kathy Kelly who interviewed Randy Orton and Jelly Roll, and he's like, you know, what happened? Like, do you have anything to say or anything you wanted to say about what happened earlier that night? And Randy Orton was like, look, it was my fault. I shouldn't have had Jelly Roll out there, right? It was my fault. I should have done better than that. I messed up. I failed to protect him and everything else like that. And he told Jelly Roll, look, I'm sorry and everything else. And Jelly Roll was like, hey man, look, it's cool. Like, I'm a grown ass man. I make my own decisions. But I tell you what, I do want them. I do want them both, right? So then he's like, I'll tell you. And then he goes and turns over to, like, Kathy Kelly and says, look, you want to know something? It's like one word or one whatever. SummerSlam. He was like, SummerSlam. So basically it's going to be Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus what's his face? Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul at SummerSlam. I will be having Jelly Roll donuts that time and during that match. So every time they say Jelly Roll, I'm gonna take a bite of my jelly donut. I have to. It's a must. But a lot of people are upset. That Jelly Roll was going to be in a match, and I'm just like, are you new to WWE? WWE has been putting celebrities in matches since the beginning of freaking time. Hell, I remember back in like the 80s when they had a freaking Cyndi Lauper, okay, back in the day. Alright, they've been doing this for a while. Whatever is popping, whatever is hot, whatever is going on, whatever celebrities is on fire, they're going to put them on the show. WWE and celebrities has been a fucking thing since the beginning of time. Get over it. Right? It's gonna be a great fucking fun match. We're gonna get the Jelly Roll Splash. Okay, it's gonna be great. Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be cool. Right? And at least it's not Travis Scott. It could be worse. Could be worse, guys, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to it. Yeah. Anyways, that's what happened. Let's move on. So as always, WWE has to show who's in the audience, and they showed who was in the audience. And you had they're always talking about Evolution, because Evolution was the next day on Sunday. So they had Rhea Ripley. They're talking about Rhea Ripley being in the main event, and then they had Jade. They were like, "Oh, look, the queen of the ring was there, and she's waving and everything else. She's all smiling, she's all happy." And of course, there's Naomi attacking Jade. You know, that fucking Jade can't even enjoy a wrestling show before Naomi goes up in there and they start fighting each other and everything else. They're fighting each other out in the crowd, and then eventually they came over the barricade and they fight in the ring. They fought on top of the announce table and everything else. Finally, Nick Aldis got security and separated them, and Nick Aldis was like, "Look, I was gonna announce this tomorrow, but seeing as you two cannot wait for your, apparently it's a no holds bars match," which I didn't realize that when I made the video with Tim. I didn't know it was a no holds bars match. Since you can't wait, so I didn't know that. But he's like, since you can't wait until tomorrow, and I thought, oh no, they're not gonna have their match tonight, are they? Alright, I'm like, come on, please don't do that. He said, "I'm gonna introduce you to your special guest referee now." And I'm like, is it Bianca? Sure enough, here she comes, Bianca. Music hits, people were people were yelling and screaming for Bianca and everything else. So she will be the special guest referee at Evolution. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you got my interest up a little bit more now, because I'm just like, now how are we going to play this, right? Like, you know, like, is she going to, I'm not, Bianca Belair could go straight down the middle. She can go on Jade's side. She can go on Naomi's side. It's going to be very interesting, very interesting. I'm like, look, I think Naomi could afford a loss, even though she can't afford a loss, because she still has that money in the bank. Because she still has that ace in the hole. I mean, I could see it to where maybe Bianca not really helps Jade, but just goes down the middle and Jade beats Naomi clean. Well, no horse bars clean, right? And everything else, and then turn on her on SummerSlam. But she might turn on her on Evolution. I don't know. I haven't watched Evolution yet, so I couldn't tell you, because I'm recording this like in the middle of the night. Anyways, so I don't know. As of this video, I have no idea. I am as clueless as the rest of y'all. But she could do that. I don't know. Something is going to happen though. Something should happen. Something needs to happen. I don't know what. I don't know if she turns, I gotta say, Bianca needs to turn heel. I don't know if she turns heel at Evolution, or if she turns heel at SummerSlam. Not sure. I mean, I'm glad and I'm also glad that she's doing something at Evolution, right? She might not be in a match, but she is doing something. So I'm glad she's involved somewhere in there. Cause I was telling Tim the other day, I was like, I was kind of sad that she ain't involved at this all women's paper, PLE, but now she is, so that's good. Anyway, so they had that segment. So they had the match for the United States champion for the men. Solo defended his title against Jimmy Uso. This was the match that they added. I figured they were going to add, because they had 2 Raw matches already, so I figured they were going to add another SmackDown match. This was the match they added. By the way, at this point, Solo has lost twice, right? It's winning King of the Ring back and I don't know, like a couple of weeks ago. And last Friday, the Friday before he lost, and he got pinned by Jacob Fatu. And then last night from Saturday Night's main event, he lost again in a tag match with LA Knight and Jimmy Uso versus Solo and JC Mateo, which he was the one who got pinned. I'm just like, wow, you ain't looking very good right now as a champion. I'm just saying. Like, you want to take WWE, you want me to take Solo seriously as a champion, you really need to stop having him lose. Anyways, eventually the Solo's MFT, which stands for My Family Tree, someone had said it should stand for My Fucking Tongans, and I'm like, yeah, it should. But it stands for My Family Tree. They got involved and eventually had Solo win the match. After the match, they pretty much attacked Jimmy, and Jacob Fatu made his return because a couple of weeks ago he got power slammed into the table. He comes back, pretty much saves Jimmy, and he and like some other part of Solo's MFT, who is like a really tall Samoan guy, Tonga, I think that's what his name is, because he's Tala, get it? Anyways, he and him, they went at it after a while, and then, you know, he pretty much got Jacob at one point, and then he goes and tries to run after Jacob, but Jacob pulls down the ropes, and he goes on the other, and he flips over to the outside of the ring, and Solo just like basically like, you know, regroup, and Jacob Fatu's in the ring standing. I don't know where this is going. I really don't. I'll be honest with you, I am so sick and tired of like bloodline stuff, or fucking AKA bloodline stuff. I'm just extremely done. I don't fucking care, right? I mean, I at one point I'm like, look, just have Solo fucking get a couple of matches, have Jimmy fucking beat Solo for the fucking title, and let's just get on with our fucking lives. Blah 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 blah. I'm so sick of it. I am so like this whole family thing, and they always are fighting each other all the time. I'm like, who cares? My goodness, so boring. Like, ugh, blech. Don't care. Anyways, well, yeah, that's what happened. Let's move on. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, like, when they are talking about Jelly Roll and and Randy Orton, they're gonna call themselves RK Roll. Yeah, that's what they're gonna call themselves. I forgot to mention that. I was trying to forget about it, but it just popped up in my freaking head. RK Roll. The fuck. Anyways, we got our next match, which was Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. It's a good match. The wise man, or not the wise man, what are they calling him? The Oracle? I call him the Urkel, because every time he's like, it's Seth Rollins Oracle, and I'm like, Seth Rollins Urkel? What? Yeah, Seth Rollins Urkel who's out there. No Bronze. As CM Punk calls them, the Bron boys. There was no Bronze out there, and unfortunately, at one point, Seth Rollins was coming off from the top rope, and when he landed, his knee buckled, and the ref had to stop the match for a little bit, and the medical guys come out and everything else, and they went to go check on Seth Rollins and everything else, and people were like, is this a work, or is this a shoot, right? Is he actually hurt, or is he just pretending? Right? We don't know. Nobody knows, right? At the time, we didn't know. And they come out, Nick Aldis was out there, right? And he asked, I guess they asked him if it's okay to wrestle. And, I don't know if this was like a yes or no. But I guess it was a yes. But he didn't really wrestle, because after that, as soon as they're like cleared and they got back into it, LA Knight pretty much put him in the BFT like right away, and pinned him 1, 2, 3. So LA Knight wins. LA Knight didn't really like the win because he was hurt. I think he's legitimately hurt. I really do think he's legitimately hurt, because it was like, even if it was a work, right? It's like, come on, he would have like at least had a little bit more fight. Like, he didn't have like no fight in him at all. Like, like there was no offense, no defense, or whatever, from Seth Rollins. And then it kind of was like, like he told LA Knight, hey, just finish me, right? Because I'm really in pain right now. I don't know if that's what they said to each other, but he said to him. It kind of looked like that, because it happened like so quickly. As soon as they said, okay, you continue, boom, finisher, pin, that's it. And I'm just like, oh man, he's actually hurt. So if he's legitimately hurt, that means that is a hold for Roman Reigns, because there ain't no need for Roman Reigns to come in if he's hurt. So hopefully, they can ice up his knees, because we already know he has bad knees. He has surgery on both knees. We know he has bad knees. So I'm hoping that it's not as serious. Maybe he just tweaked it a little bit. Maybe he gets some iced up. Maybe, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's back within maybe a week or a few weeks or something like that. And they can rush something. I don't know. But hopefully, I mean, if it is a work, I wouldn't understand why would it be a work. I mean, let's have a storyline for it, but it's like kind of like weird. Like, why would they do that? I don't know, but sure. But I think he's legitimately hurt. So if he is legitimately hurt, I hope nothing but the best. Hope a speedy recovery, and he gets to fight at SummerSlam. Moving on to the main event of the match, we had Gunther defending his title against Goldberg. During the whole show, they kept showing highlights of Goldberg. They kept talking about Goldberg's life, what's going on. I think he recently lost his father-in-law like a couple of days ago, and his career, and how he had like a bad leg, a bad knee from his left leg or his right leg. I don't fucking know. He had a brace on one of his legs. I couldn't remember, wasn't paying attention. I was like, my fucking goodness, please stop talking about the sob story. So I'm supposed to have be like, oh my gosh, yes, I hope he battles through it. No, I don't want Goldberg to fucking win the title. Okay, I don't give a shit who died. I'm like, my condolences, but at the same time, I don't really care, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I sound like a jerk right now. I just like, please, right? Stop giving me the sad sob story. Anyways, he goes out there. If you ever watch WCW, like back in the day when Goldberg had his entrance, he had like the security guys, and they go and they knock on the door, knock, and it's time, and he goes out and and he plays his music, right? Usually, the guys, they all wearing the same thing, either having like some polo shirts or like a shirt that says security on it. Pretty much everybody was matching. Here, it just looked like he took took a couple of people he knew as, hey man, do you want to come walk with me down to the stage and everything else? Nobody was matching. Like, I was gonna pick 5 random people from the audience or some shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck is this, right? I'm like, okay, whatever. Anyways, we had the match. Oh, by the way, I must say, right, I'm really mad at Roxanne Perez, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Roxanne Perez was on the Celtic Warriors YouTube channel, which was Sheamus' YouTube channel, where they do workouts and stuff like that, and they were talking about embarrassing music, right? And Roxanne Perez was like, she had the song Baby Shark on there, right? And I'm like, okay, like, why? I'm thinking to myself, why? And he's like, why? And he goes, I have like a niece, and like my niece, when she hears Gunther's music in the beginning, it kind of sounds like Baby Shark. Like, I've never like heard the I don't even know, is Baby Shark like a TV show? I know it's a song, but it's like a TV show. I'm not even sure. But I never heard the beginning of Baby Shark. I never heard the beginning part before. I've just heard that Baby Shark do 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 do, Baby Shark do 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 do. That's the only part I've ever heard of that song. Anyways, I go and I'm like, really? I go and I have to find out for myself, right? Damn. Damn if it's not close to the fucking same thing. I'm just like, Jesus. Now when Gunther's music comes on, I'm just thinking Baby Shark. So, screw you, Roxanne Perez, for putting that in my mind. Anyways, this was a decent match. Gunther made Goldberg look good. You know, he gave him a good look. Goldberg looked good out there. He didn't look, out of breath or anything else like that. He did great. He did a great job. I was actually kind of impressed by the match. At one point, Gunther got into what's his name? Goldberg's son Gage, I think that's his name. Got into his face and pretty much had like a shoving match between the two of them, whatever. Eventually, Gunther goes back into the ring where Goldberg spears him, gives him a jackknife, a quick jackknife, but it looked good. But unfortunately, he couldn't pin him because he was playing off the injured leg. Oh, my leg, right? And he finally does pin him. 1, 2, Gunther kicks out, immediately puts him in a sleeper hold, puts him in a sleeper, and eventually Goldberg taps out. So, and then you're Gunther's still your heavyweight champion. Yay! Gunther leaves the ring and pretty much, Goldberg starts talking to the crowd, saying, he apologizes for losing in Atlanta because he never lost in Atlanta. So I'm sorry for having my first loss in Atlanta. We talked about how he is grateful for everything he's done and for everything he has got to do, and it was because of the crowd and everything else, and he thanked his family and friends and all this other stuff. It was a really cool moment, and I'm glad he got to leave how he wanted to leave wrestling. So it's always a good thing when wrestlers get to retire the way they want to retire, and it's not because someone tells them to or some medical reasons or whatever, or it was cut short. So I'm glad he got to leave on his own. And also was on X, I saw a video of Cody Rhodes there. It wasn't on the show, but I saw a video of Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes is pretty much giving him praise as well. And yeah, it was a decent show. I mean, of course there was a lot of commercials, but I'm not gonna complain about the commercials because it's like that's how they make their revenue. I'm like, whatever, I'm not gonna get mad about it. It is what it is, right? Like, if you don't want to fucking watch it, don't watch it. If you hate commercials, just watch it like after the fact. But yeah, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to Evolution and that next. But man, so much wrestling. Like, I've been watching wrestling like pretty much every day. Okay, look, I watched Raw. I did not watch NXT, but I watched a stream about NXT, so I'm counting that. I didn't watch Dynamite of AEW, but I watched a stream about people talking about Dynamite, so I'm gonna count that. Then I watched on Thursday TNA. I watched that. Friday was SmackDown, and Saturday was Saturday's main event, and then this Sunday Evolution. I was like, my goodness gracious. And then it's all over again because it's Monday again. Now it's Raw again. I'm just like, so much wrestling. I am wrestling drained. I'm wrestling fatigue. I might take a break from wrestling and watching it for a little bit, at least until SummerSlam. Watch something else for a while. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you're not fatigued of me, because we will be back on Thursday with Tim talking about the results show for Evolution. I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, I don't know, I might put this out on Sunday or Monday. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.